All right, we live up.
Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Kakodash.
double homage to the elders and the apostles of GMS that rule well. Peace and salutations to all the Akim out there on the four corners, teaching the truth and sincerity. This is Dr. Raquel Ma, who with the brother
Rock, Shalom.
of the GMS Dallas camp, coming at you with a quick lesson. Lord's willing is edifying unto the hopeful elect. Okay, because of the times and the seasons that we are in, it's getting closer and closer to the wire. Okay, where we're gonna see where a lot of people stand. The line in the sand has been drawn. Okay, and holy hell is about to be unleashed on the populace.
Yep.
So I had this on my lab for a week or two now, just meditating on it. But I wanted to go into that Matthew chapter 24,
Con.
No, you got it.
Okay, I did have a precept, just the opener, but I wanted to get one of these words too, just for edification. This is 1 Peter 4:7. It says, "But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer." Because this is a very sobering time. Like the scriptures talk about, better is it to go into the house of mourning than the house of feasting. It's not that we just sad, right? Because we do have the Comforter, right? And we do have prophecy on the forefront of our minds, right? Which gives us hope. But this is a very sobering time. It's a very serious time.
And that sobering can be linked into humbling. Because you have to humble yourself, to come boldly before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because he's about to start humbling the whole world.
Right.
Everybody's going to know who he is as well. All right, and that he's a mighty demon like power. All right.
Yep. I just want to get this word real quick in a precept, and I'm gonna give it right back. This is the word "end." When you click on that word, Strong's G 5056, telos, and it says "end," and then the first one it says "termination," the limit at which a thing ceases to be. It says that by which a thing is finished. All right. And then when you go down to Strong's definition, it says to set out a definite point or goal properly, the point aimed at as a limit. And that brought me to that Job 14:5. And I'll read that real quick. It says, "Seeing his days are determined, and the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass." Esau's rulership. But like the brother's about to go into, Esau's rulership is going to be capped off by a very dark time, all right, in history that we preach about, called Jacob's trouble, man.
Jacob's trouble, the pivotal point, that holy hell is going to be enacted, especially against your tribes, your so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans of Negro descent. All right, because Esau, Edom, he's seeing that he has but a short time, as it says in that Revelation chapter 12, verse 12.
Right.
Okay, but I'm sure you can pull that. Because we are seeing the end. Yahweh Ba'ashem saw the end from the beginning, but we are seeing the end manifest before our own eyes right now. All right, and we can get that. Blessed is he that sees it.
Matthew 13.
Yeah, Bible shot. But let's go to Revelation 12:12 real quick.
Don't
want to get too far off the text.
This is Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
And then you got to start at the beginning of that. Read the first part again, Babushai.
Revelation 12:12. it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens."
See, rejoice. You know, this is a joyous time. All right, we have to be happy. You know, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know, has put it upon our spirits to be in a humble position, because we see these things to come. You know. Continue about Kushan.
Yep. Revelation 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea."
See, woe, death, destruction. Okay, to this whole hegemon. All right, because Edom has, you know, fucked up the whole play. All right, trash everywhere. There's an island of trash still out in the Pacific. You know, the size of Texas. Texas is one state that can have 3 states or 5 states in it. You know, it can be split up into 5 states. So what does that say about the level of, you know, trash that's in the ocean right now? The level of microplastics that's in the air. All right, the level of trash that's in the ionosphere, you know, that's surrounding the planet. Okay, so all this shit has to be burnt up. All this shit has to be done away with.
Yeah.
How about Shemi Shai is going to execute judgment? You know, that woe, that destruction, to get rid of everything. Okay, to start with a clean slate.
Let me keep going. Read that. Keep reading.
Yeah, Babushai.
It's Revelation 12:12. It says, "Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time."
Because Edom knows that his time is up. You know, the Most High has set up a time frame for every rulership, and he can't go past that. All right, every rulership that was before him, you know, got to a point and then it fell. This country has been a country for a little under 250 years. You know, and that's how far a kingdom goes.
Yeah.
You know, in today's standard.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And once it reaches that point, it falls away and goes to the wayside, because there's another rulership that's being set up before it. It's just like King David. All right. King Saul was in the rulership until he fell away, and then King David came up next, and he ruled. You know, just like Yahweh Shai, he's going to come in and he's going to take the reins from Esau Edom, because it's his time to rule, and then whenever he rules, it's going to be forever. It's never going to be taken away. Babu Shai, you got it.
Khan. Let's go. That was it. That was it. All you wanted on the Revelation 12?
Babu Shai.
Khan. I can go into I got the dark winter hell, but I also got the Matthew 24 and Luke 21.
Babu Shai, start with Matthew 24, Babu Shai.
Khan. This is Matthew chapter 24. And the point we are going to get into is verse 20 and 21. You mind if I start up a little bit?
Yeah, Babu Shai, start up.
I'm going to start at verse 3 and read a little bit of that, and we'll jump down. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. It says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives," talking about Yahweh Shai, it says, "the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world?"
Yeah.
And Yahweh Shai, and you know, that's the mindset.
Yeah, and that's the mindset that every brother that's in the truth right now is thinking, man.
Right.
Because they are seeing the times. They're seeing everything linked up with prophecy. Prophecy is our measuring stick. All right. That's how we can tell, you know, where we are in history. All right.
Yeah.
And if you can't comprehend, you know, what's going on and how it's going to happen, you go back to the measuring stick. we have a little bit left on the stick. Prophecy has been popping off the page for years. All right, we say before, because prophecy means to say before. How about Shemel Shai said that all these things were going to happen in the end. Look, everything has been a build up, but then it has popped.
Right.
Popcorn popping all around us. Prophecy. You got it.
Yep. Verse 4, it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
And we already see these other camps that's trying to set themselves up, and try to take Yahushua out of the picture, just so they can have a little kinghood.
They're deifying themselves like that. You saw the IUIC shit in the chat.
Yeah, that shit.
Like Jake is literally deifying and idolizing themselves and pushing that shit on their congregation.
See, that's why we give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Shemel Shai. This is not of us.
Yeah.
This is of him.
Yeah.
All right. His spirit was given to us so we can understand these things, so we can study and show ourselves approved. All right. To seek out wisdom, knowledge, in our everyday lives, so we can give it to the people, so the people can understand who Yahweh Shemel Shai is. All right, and turn from their wicked ways.
Yeah. And another thing that I'm noticing too on YouTube, like especially with these influencers, all right, these podcasters, they're starting to talk about the Bible more.
Yep.
And then too, like I was watching, fucking Charleston White, one of his videos popped up on my algorithm, and he was going on one of his rants. But he was basically talking about how he was a prophet. He was basically saying, oh man, I've been telling you all this shit. This is prophetic. Like he was going on that type of tip. And this is the precept that came to my mind. You got a lot of these niggas, man. A lot of these niggas that are simply on here because they're agents or they're on it because of filthy lucre's sake, right? Hassan Campbell, Anton Daniels. I'm talking about mainly Jake influencers. You know what I'm saying? These are the niggas, man, that swear they got the juice, swear they got it, man. And all you niggas are eating that shit up. But guess what? When this shit really pop off that we're going into, right? When Jerusalem is besieged with armies again, right? Like it is already in Washington, D.C., like it is already in these major cities. They ain't gonna be there to help you niggas, man. And ain't none of the information they brought out gonna be able to help you find salvation.
All the information that they're bringing out, they got from the prophets. They got from the elders and apostles.
Right.
All right. Just because they heard something, a little here and a little there, they think that they got it. Nah. This takes, for one, it takes you how about Shemel Shai supping with you. Okay. Then you have to go through, trials and tribulations to prove yourself. All right. You can't just wake up and be like, oh yeah, I want to teach the Bible. Nah, man. It don't work like that. So they are sheaves, wolves and sheep clothing.
Exactly.
They're gonna get you caught out there.
Exactly.
And it's gonna be justified because how about Shemel Shai is gonna allow it to happen. But you guys, I don't want to go on a rant.
This is Matthew 24:6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
And that's Jacob's trouble. All these things must come to pass. All this has to happen for the lifting up of Yahushua. All right, because he prophesied this. As we read, you got it.
Yep. Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
And that's what we see right now. All right. For Baba Kushab, read that part again.
For Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation.
All right, because nation is rising up against nation right now. Wars and rumors of wars are happening right now. All right, Iran, Israel, those are two nations. All right, these people that are wanting having civil unrest.
Yeah.
All right. Their own nation inside their nation doesn't want them in power. All right.
And it's mostly, if I may, it's a lot of them NATO nations.
Yep.
Like how we go into, the seven heads, the 10 horns, right? Represent NATO and the EU.
Yep.
That's also in Daniel, right? The feet that were mixed with miry clay.
Yep.
There's a lot of turmoil and instability in those NATO nations, man.
Yeah.
But I was going to add on to what you're saying too, because then too last week, what you had Putin and Xi Jinping, right, and a dude from North Korea. They all linked up for that Chinese military parade.
Yeah.
So like the brother is saying, man, you gotta be watching. You gotta see the tokens, man. War is in the air.
War is in the air now more so than ever. All right, and that's how Bashmi Shai staring the pot.
Exactly.
Yeah, because holy hell is getting ready to be exuded. To where you're not going to be, in a proper area where you can be able to get food, where you're going to be able to get clean water. All right, it's going to be holy hell out here. Nuclear fallout is going to happen, and that only happens in a nuclear war. Okay, and all these other countries that we're talking about, all of them have the capability. Hell, North Korea got the capability, and they can get it after they have been sanctioned and taken out of the way for so long. They got a gun too, and all that's coming over here. But continue on that.
Yep, I'm gonna read verse 8, and then I'm gonna jump down to the point kind of that you wanted. This is Matthew 24:8. It says, "All these are the beginning of sorrows."
All these are the beginning of the hell to come. All right, and you have to be in a mindset. Yahweh Shemel Shah has to give you the proper mindset in order to maneuver in this thing.
Yep. And I'm gonna get this word sorrows. When you get this word sorrows, it's a Strong 5604 Odin. And when you get it, it says the pain of childbirth.
Ooh.
Birth pangs. It says intolerable anguish in reference to the dire calamities preceding the advent of Hamashiach. So that links up with, didn't we go into that last Saturday class? We touched on that.
Yep.
The child, the
childbearing.
Yeah, the symbolism behind us being delivered, basically.
Yeah. Hey, once that water breaks, there's no turning back. Hell, once the seed is planted, there's no turning back. All right, because it's just going to be a straight growth, and that seed was planted 2,000 years ago. Okay, the growth has happened. Now we're at the time whenever that water breaks and the baby is brought forth. All right, and that baby is the nation of Israel to reign upon this earth. I'm
gonna jump down to Matthew 24 and verse. I'll start at verse. Well, really, you gotta verse 15.
And then jump to
it like sometimes you read the scriptures and it jumps between time periods.
Yeah.
When you read verse 15, I'll go ahead and read it. This says, when ye therefore, because we're gonna read verse 20, but I'm gonna start up. It says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand, right? Because this is referring to basically Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth, all right, when he violated and desecrated the temple, during the time of the Greeks, where he brought the pig, right,
and killed it on the altar. That's that Maccabees 4:43. Just to get to the point.
Yep. And then I'm gonna keep reading. It says verse 16. It says, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of the house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
Yeah, that's that. If a man leaves to go to work and he forgets something, he can't go back and get it. His wife has to bring it to him. All right, because it was just like a law. Loosely paraphrasing. What you got?
Yep. Verse 19, it says, "And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter."
See, it says, "Woe unto ye that give suck in that day." All right, because it's not going to be beneficial to have a seed. All right, and if you are a man of Yahweh Shemel Shai, you will be protected.
Yeah.
But if you're 230 and that's out of here, all right, and you trying to make it and crawl through the mud, but you got that seed on your back, the baby crying and everything is attracting all attention to you. The woman on her cycle, the animals smell that. All right, the people smell that, because we're not gonna have showers. We're not gonna stop and have fucking breaks and shit. This is gonna be hell after hell after hell. Okay, and then in wintertime, as the chapter's gonna go into, what is that? That's the time where everything is dead on the earth, where the temperature is cold. Okay, and life is gonna be harder to be sustained. Okay, there's not going to be any breaks with this. How about Shemel Shai is coming whole hard, wholehearted, whole fledged to start removing people off the planet. But you guys like, I want to go on a tangent.
Yep, that's that Psalms 91.
Yeah,
and Yahweh Shai. That's why we always, like, the elders done ingrained it into our psyche. You got to go into the history to know the mystery. Yeah. Yahweh Shai is basically making a historical parallel. He's going into the history, and he's using that to help them understand how bad it's getting ready to get now.
Yes.
And I'll read the next verse just to back that up. It says, "For then," right? Talking about future, projecting into the future, right? Where we're in now. It says, or we're, approaching.
Yeah.
It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be."
So great tribulation. There's going to be a shaking up process, okay, that has never been since this earth was put together, okay, and the earth was put together in a dramatic fashion, okay. It didn't just pop up. It was put together with heat and fire, okay, but now it's going to be heat and fire from these thermonuclear missiles. All right. It's going to be holy hell popping off in the earth and around the earth. All right.
I got a precept. Just linking it up. This is Daniel 12:1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up,
there you go,
the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time." Yep. So Yahweh Shai and the prophet Daniel are referencing the same period of time. Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30.
Yeah, we hear.
We
hear Jacob's trouble. It's a build-up process. It started, back when, whenever we came to the understanding. Right, but now it's almost at its pinnacle.
Yep, the climax.
Yeah, the apex.
Yep.
But Bible Shai,
it says, "And at that time thy people," talking about the elect, really. It says, "Thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book."
See, everyone is found written in the book. So everybody's not going to make it. All right, you're going to have family members that you are not going to be able to protect. All right, you can pray for them, you can pray that Yahweh by Shemel Shai puts a protection on them, but his ways are higher than our ways. Mm-hmm. All right, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. Mm-hmm. All right, he has a set plan for them, but really, you know, you have to be focused more upon yourself in that day. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Just like it says in that Luke chapter 21 verse 20. Mm-hmm. Or do you
I'm holding that too. Yep, because this is going into basically 70 AD. Yeah. You know, because the Lord, man, not only was the Lord telling Jake that they were gonna get jacked up then, but the Lord was so far ahead of the game. He was telling, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. He was telling them that they're gonna get jacked up then. He was going now,
and right. Then what's to come? Right. Because Jacob's trouble is like it's a moment in time, mm-hmm. But that moment in time is a buildup. Right. You know.
Right.
But you got it.
Luke 21:20. It says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh."
See, and right now they're talking about these EU troops coming over here, you know, to police the land of America. You know, that they're talking about like nations like China. You know, mm-hmm. They can't do it for themselves. We gotta, you know, go over there and instill our dominion over the people. Mm-hmm. That's why America is setting this whole digital system up. Where did they get that from? China. All right. They have been putting their people in subjection for years. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now they want to cut the bands. You know, they want to cut America's hold on the world. You know, starting with the financial system. Mm-hmm. You know, and input that totalitarianism, mm-hmm. You know, on the people.
Yeah.
But you got it.
Khan, I wanted to read a little bit of this off this website, the JewishVirtualLibrary.org, just going into some of the history of 70 AD, mm-hmm. Because like the brother saying, you can, you know, project. We know what it's kind of, you looking at the history, we get an idea of what it's going to look like now in today's time, because history repeats itself. Yep. You know, Ecclesiastes 1:9. Yeah. That which is then is now. Right. So this is it says, during the summer of 70 AD, the Romans breached the walls of Jerusalem and initiated an orgy of violence and destruction. Man. Right. Crazy word choice.
The wrong word choice.
It says, shortly thereafter, they destroyed the second temple. And that's what Esau's trying to do now. He's trying to destroy the elect and the remnant, the men of the Lord.
And that temple is really you.
Exactly.
All right. What? It's like mm-hmm. You got it.
No, you good. I was just gonna say that. You know, Paul said that. Huh. Ye are the
temples of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know, he wants to put a charagma or MOTB, you know, in you to corrupt your system. Yep. All right. Yep. But you got it.
Yep. It says, this was the final and most devastating Roman blow against Judea. You know, it says it is estimated that as many as 1 million, and it's probably way more than that. It says it is estimated that as many as 1 million Israelites died in the Great Revolt against Rome. When people today speak of the almost 2,000-year span of Israelite homelessness and exile, they are dating it from the failure of the revolt and the destruction of the temple. You know, and that's basically the point.
All right, because during that time, you know, they said that 2 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution.
Yep.
Loosely paraphrasing. Yep. Okay, so it was a complete scattering of the people. Then they came into Africa and picked up some of the 3 tribes, you know, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you know, and brought them over here to the Americas to serve out that captivity period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but the 10 tribes, which was scattered all over the world, you know, was still being afflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because holy hell, that was prescribed to us. That's that Baruch chapter 4 verse 6. Could you pull it real quick?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
this is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 6. It says, "Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies."
So you were sold unto the nations, you know, because you moved how about Shimei Shai to you know, hey, he had to do something with you. All right, you were sacrificing unto other gods. All right, he was like, okay, I gotta beat this bitch. So I can put a
hands on him.
Yeah, because like it's and that's written all through Scripture.
Curses.
You know, that's the Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 44. You know, because you were offering yourself. You know, Salakia, Ezekiel 25 and 24. Let me paraphrase it. Salakia is 23. Salakia,
when we read down in Luke 21, it goes into the point that you're making. You know how Jerusalem will be trodden down by the Gentiles. That Baruch 4 and 6 is a direct precept to that.
You know, and but all this to say, this is happening back in these times, and Shai for the writings to give us insight, you know, and proper understanding of what's to come. All right, because like you said, that second Esdras, how Shimei Shai likens his judgment as a ring. All right, so what was then is now, you know, as it says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 3. But
what goes around
comes around. You got it.
You know, and like we always say, Jake said, "Let his blood be upon us and our children," man. So that blood has followed you all the way over here to Babylon the Great.
But that blood that you said to do that with was Yahushua HaMashiach's blood. All right. And the Most High, even though he loved to bruise him at that time.
Because it covered the elect.
Because he covered the elect. All right. But it's going to be on your ass.
Yep.
You know, so 2/3 have to get it.
Yep.
But Salaki, you got it.
Come on, we'll finish this out. This is Luke 21 and verse 20. It says, "And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled."
And whenever it says right there that they were going to flee into the mountains, all right, they fled into the mountains of Africa. All right, so the tribes, you know, was with the Hamites in Africa, you know,
Negro land, like that Negro one map, land. One map, yeah.
You know, calling out Shimei Shai.
Let's see if I can get that on the
You know, they fled into that land to where the Africans got mad and said, "Hey, there is people here talking to the Grecians. There's people here that doesn't belong here. You can take them instead of putting us into captivity." And that's how this whole hegemon thing popped off. All right, like, oh, there's a whole different people that you can take that won't mess up what we got going on here. Hell, them niggas been pissing us off this whole time anyway. Take their ass into slavery. You know, so it wasn't, you know, Negroes selling Negroes into captivity. It was Hamites selling Israelites into captivity. All right, but that's all a part of how about Shimei Shai's plan.
Yep.
But you got it.
That's it. Going back in Luke 21, it says, Luke 21 and 23, it says, "But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. And that's why, like the brother said a minute ago, now ain't the time, okay, to really be fruitful and multiplying, man. You're supposed to be fruitful and multiplying in the spirit.
Yep.
Right? In the fruits of the spirit. Now, obviously, if you end up having a seed, like that's the will of the Lord, you know what I mean? That's part of your lot. All right. But really, right now in these times, we're supposed to be locked in on our own salvation, man. Yeah. Because we ain't made it. We ain't made it yet.
We can't, continue to be fruitful and multiply whenever we're in a time of war. Yeah. This is a time of war.
Right.
Okay, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Because you are being afflicted in your day-to-day life anyway. Because you have somebody that is over you, that's oppressing you. We can pull that Ecclesiastes 7:7, because this is the mindset that the men that are in this truth is in. I think about this every day.
Ecclesiastes 7:7, it says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart."
Because we are being oppressed. We can't have a continuing city. Esau, Edom's going to come and mess up everything that Jake got going on. Okay, so it says, "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad," and the gift of being hand joined in hand, with Esau, Edom. That's the gift that he's trying to portray. That's not going to happen because you're under oppression this whole time. You can't have that peace. What's the lucky? You got it.
Come on. This is Luke 21-24, and this is pretty much the end of the segment. It says, "And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled."
And it's being fulfilled now. All right. How about Shemiah has let this whole thing play out, and we are about to be done with this captivity through the spirit and power of how about Shemiah Shai. All right. And then we're gonna be in our own lands, because then that's when the kingdom of heaven will be brought unto us openly. We will have rulership over the next dominion in the order of Yahweh Shai, King David, the 12, and the elect.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And I'm just gonna get a precept going into that, because the times of the Gentiles, like it says, let me go back real quick. It says, "And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled." And you can liken that basically unto the captivities, the kingdoms that were outlined in Daniel 7.
Yeah.
Daniel 7 gave us the whole breakdown.
The Tower of Gold.
Or that's Daniel 2.
Oh, Daniel
that
2.
too, though.
Yeah.
Both Daniel 2 and Daniel 7.
Yeah.
The Lord gave us the breakdown of the times of the Gentiles. And then also I had this in Lamentations 4:21 and 22.
Okay,
I'll read it quick. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, the cup of judgment." Okay. Yep. Psalm 75:7. It says, "Thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked." And we see that now, all right, with these truthers, right, with these fucking so-called CIA whistleblowers that are all on the internet, okay, spilling the beans on what's going on. Esau's putting it out there, man. He's putting it out there because this is his way of pseudo prophesying, man.
Yeah. And as the children of Israel is lifted up, Esau is going to be pulled down.
Exactly.
All right. That's that Second Ezra 6-9.
Exactly.
All right. But you got it.
Yep. Lamentations 4:22. It says, "The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished." Okay, and that parallels that time of the Gentiles being fulfilled.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read that again. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
Because it's time for Esau to feel the sting.
Yep.
All right. How about you now? Shot for it. All right. Because it's going to be a time that we have dreamed. You know, whenever how about you now? I shot wake us up from our nightmare. But you got it, bro.
Yep. That was it. That was all I had, man. So, hey,
with that, the water for listening. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem HaKakodash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS that rule well. Shalom and shalom.
Shalom.